How is everybody doing? I hope you're all well. We're going to take a look at Dire Straits, the studio albums, 1978 to 1991, CD box set. I was excited a couple of weeks ago when I knew this was coming, but I'm a little disappointed, and I'll tell you why. On the back you can just see the 6 albums. Dire Straits from 1978, that was the debut. Communique, 1979. Making Movies, 1980. Love Over Gold, 1982. Brothers in Arms, 1985. And On Every Street, 1991. Nice clamshell box. Follows the design of the vinyl box set which came out. I didn't buy that because I've been trying to buy them on the Mobile Fidelity label, which in my mind sounds superior to anything else that's come out on vinyl by Dire Straits. Okay, so miniature vinyl replicas, kind of. There's no writing on the spines, they're quite thin. You know, but they're just not the fold over type that you get with the newspaper. But still it would have been nice to see titles on the side. That's one point I would put against it. So let's check them out in closer detail. This is the debut from 1978, Dire Straits. This is the 4-piece band. Mark Knopfler. Vocals, lead and rhythm guitar. David Knopfler, his brother, rhythm guitar. John Ilsley bass, Pick Withers drums. A lot of people like this lineup for Dire Straits. Very, very stripped down affair, and very, very good. This is kind of more or less what the LP would have looked like at the back, but it doesn't really adhere to it strictly because the songs are all in one block. So produced by Muff Winwood. This is a good album. I like this one. Lots of country influences here. Mark's guitar is excellent. Disappointed by the disc. It's just black with silver text on it. Again, the mastering, I'm not 100% sure. It says here 1996 Mercury Records Limited. It doesn't say anywhere about remastering or anything like that. This is the poster you get. It's more or less like the in a bag of the original LP, I guess. And the lyrics are in this. Yeah, so disappointed that they kind of didn't put in a vertical label here, and that, you know, would have been nice. 1979, Communique, the follow-up. This is kind of when people started saying, oh, you know, they kind of repeated themselves a little. It hasn't got the kind of magic and innocence of the first album, but there's some good stuff on this as well. Yeah, 4 members are still here. This one is produced by Jerry Wexler and Barry Beckett. It's recorded in Compass Point Studio, Bahamas. Again, the disc is just like the first disc, which is disappointing. It would have been nice to have, you know, got an authentic record label from the time, the way the Police did theirs. Things like that. The details like that. Again, in their sleeve, there's no lyrics in this one. These are the kind of things that I'm talking about, you know. I mean, you know, sound quality is fine. They're remastered, but it would have been nice to know if they were actually update remasters. It's in the last year or two. Making Movies. This is from 1980. This is probably where they shifted up a gear. And there was only 7 tracks on the album. But they're 7 great tracks. Very minimal sleeve. And again, let's check out the disc. There you go. No vertical label. Thought I was going to get the lightning label, or even the the kind of sunburst type one. This is the vinyl LP inner sleeve. It's produced by Jimmy Lovine and Mark Knopfler. Recorded in New York. Yeah, I like this album. This is pretty good stuff. Romeo and Juliet is on it. Tunnel of Love, one of my favourite Dire Straits tracks. Skate Away, another excellent song. Espresso Love, Hand in Hand, Solid Rock, Les Boys. Yeah, Making Movies is very good. It's probably a high point in the first 3 years without a doubt. This is where David Knopfler walks into the sunset. Love Over Gold. I think this is my favourite Dire Straits album. I just love Telegraph Road. I love the title track. It Never Rains. It's just deep, dark. There's some great solos on it. The music is very different to the other albums. He's stretching out. There was only 5 tracks, but it's a dark album. Again, just a black disc. Inner, just like you find inside the vinyl LP sleeve, I guess, with the lyrics. Well, this was the last album with drummer Pick Withers. New guitarist joins the band at this time, Hal Lindays. He was with them for a couple of years. And Alan Clark on keyboards. There's a few guest musicians on this as well. Yeah, I really like this album. Private Investigations is on it, fantastic. Industrial Disease kind of makes the album a bit light-hearted. Yeah, like I said, one of my favourites, and I love listening to it. So the ambition is there. It kind of asks the listener questions, if you know what I mean. So yeah, it's kind of the high point, really. Okay, so everybody knows what this is. Brothers in Arms, iconic cover. This was released in 1985 and is possibly one of the biggest selling albums of all time. There's a new drummer here. Terry Williams is in the lineup, and keyboard player Guy Fletcher, who worked on some soundtrack material with Mark from the previous year. Brothers in Arms, I mean, it's kind of hard to, kind of say anything about it, because it's solid, yeah, it's overproduced. It's a very slick sound, but it's very good material on this one. Like all the albums. This one has got a picture disc. It's the only one in the pack, and it's also the full length. It's the CD length, not the original vinyl LP length. And then you get the inner lyrics. Yeah, there's guest musicians on this. Michael Brecker, Neil Jason, Tony Levin, Jimmy Malin, Mike Minieri, Jack Sonny. He became their guitarist live. Sting is on it. I Want My MTV. Yeah, it's Brothers in Arms is larger than life. Omar Hakim actually plays drums. Terry Williams doesn't on the sessions, which is kind of sad because Terry is a nice guy. I've been kind of talking to him on YouTube last year. He was messaging me and stuff like that. With some great conversations about the Brothers in Arms tour and what he was doing at the time, and it's very interesting. Mark was the boss of Mark's band. Yeah. So anyway, So Far Away could have been a kind of a Roxy Music song, kind of drifts along. A bit too long as well, I think. Money for Nothing, that's a great track. Walk of Life, a lot of people kind of say, oh, Walk of Life, I'm sick of it and stuff like, but it's still a great country track, and a very kind of happy kind of song. It's hard to write songs like that. People think it's easy, it's not. Your Latest Trick, I like that. It's kind of got soundtrack thing to it, it's kind of film noir. Again, it kind of evokes images of cities late at night. Why Worry? It's a nice little ballad. This is the extended version. It goes on forever. Right Across the River. Really like that one as well. It's almost kind of a reggae kind of track. Man's Too Strong. That's another great track. One World I really like. It's an unusual Dire Straits song. And Brothers in Arms itself. Classic slow track, which winds up the album. Yeah, it is the high point. I think after that Mark was kind of sick of being famous and stuff. It was like, he didn't like what it was all about. Yeah. And he went back to his roots. And that brings us up to On Every Street, and this is from 1991. The cover on this, I just thought it was ridiculous. Even back then, I saw them live in 1991. And on vinyl, it's even worse. You just got this kind of it's kind of a blue background. You can see you guys' feet up on a mixing desk or something. He's got a guitar in his hand. Cowboy boots, and then you get it again here. I mean, yeah, it's a bit strange. It's at odds with the rest of the artwork, which is kind of stamped, kind of post office kind of thing going on. It's a bewildering cover, and I wish they came up with something else. It's a pretty weak album cover, Yeah, it's even hard to read the band's name up here, Yeah, I don't like the cover. So here we have it, 12 tracks on this one. This is, it sounds like a Mark Knopfler solo album, really. There's elements of all the stuff he's done so far. I think the band were under pressure by the record company to get back together and go on a big tour, and the tour was extensive. There was a lot of money made out of it. It was backed by Philips. But this album, I didn't listen to it much over the last few years, but I'm reinvestigating it. It's a good album. Again, black disc, nothing to write home about. And the inner is nice, you see. I like this. The lyrics are in this. There you go. So, yeah. So the drummer on this is Jeff Porcaro from Toto. He passed away the following year, sadly. John Hillsley is still on this, so was Alan Clark and Guy Fletcher. But I think Phil Palmer is on guitar, and Danny Cummings on percussion. And then Paul Franklin on the pedal steel. It's a very country orientated album. Calling Elvis. A bit long, but some nice interplay near the end between Mark and the drummer, trading kind of fills and licks on every street. That's a great track. That's the most Dire Straits thing here. When it comes to You, again, kind of country, kind of blues, rock. It's kind of a bit like J.J. Cale. Fade to Black, I like that one, yeah. Bit dark. The Bug, that's kind of like The Walk of Life. It's okay. You and Your Friend, yeah, I really like that. Some great guitar solos on that one as well. Heavy Fuel, I was never mad about it. It seems a bit kind of pompous and over the top, a bit like Money for Nothing, I suppose, but not as good. Iron Hand, that's an acoustic track. Ticket to Heaven, that's kind of a bossa nova kind of feel to it, kind of, yeah. It's like something Willie DeVille would do, you know. Mark did produce one of his albums, Miracle, back in 1987. My Parties, that's kind of a nice track, kind of almost like a Van Morrison track, yeah. So, you know, with some brass on it and stuff. And then Planet of New Orleans, that's the best track on the whole album. There's some incredible guitar solos on that. Really, really good. Yeah, that was brilliant live as well. And then we have How Long, which is kind of, again, simple kind of country track. So it's like the stuff he's been doing with Emmylou Harris and stuff like that. So yeah, that's on every street. I'm kind of reinvestigating it at the moment. Been listening to it a couple of times this week. It isn't bad, but it's definitely not, you know, a Dire Straits album as such. It's very, very much a Mark Knopfler album. You know, yeah. So there you go. So there you have it. That's it. So I would say, you know, the fact that the discs are all more or less generic, except for Brothers in Arms. And when you look at it on the internet, it shows a picture of all the CDs and it shows Brothers in Arms sticking out. So I was actually under the impression that I was going to be getting 6 different CD labels, you know. Foolish. Oh, this is the Dire Straits typeface they used on Alchemy Live from 1984. It's a double LP. There's also On the Night, which was the live concerts on the on Every Street tour. These aren't here. It's only studio albums. It would be probably nice to have got a complete catalogue for a couple of bucks more, you know, and a booklet. You know, there's no booklet either. It would have been nice to have a little booklet, a little bit of you know, some sleeve notes on each album. So that's not here. But the price, you know, €22. I mean, you can't argue with that, because that means the albums are only, what is it, $3.50 each. So, you know, it is very good value for money if you've lost all your Dire Straits CDs, or if you've got worn out vinyl copies, or if you just want to have them all in one place. This is the place to go. And it is very nice, you know. It's nice, and for the price you can't go wrong. I mean, you know, I would recommend it to anybody. And like I said, you have them all miniature LPs. Yeah, so apart from a couple of gripes, you know, it would have been nice to get the original labels on the CDs, and it would have been nice to get printing down the spines of the actual sleeves, and it would have been nice to have got a little booklet, and it would have been a bonus to have them remastered, we'll say, like they did the LP box set. So yeah, that's it. So that's all there is to say about it. I'm sure that you will have your mind made up now whether you're going to get it or not. It's worth a shot. It's good, and nice item to have in your collection. So that's it. Feel free to subscribe and take care.